Welcome to Meet the Boss Junior. Today I'm speaking with you, Kristy Henderson, CEO of Getz Clinical. First question, you might know I love cars. What's your favorite car?
Liam, well, I really like olden cars, so like the Grace Kelly in Monaco, James Bond with an Aston Martin. They're my 1960s classic cars, fast but very stylish.
Okay, think back to when you were a kid. What did you want to do when you grew up?
Actually, you know, I always said I wanted to be a lawyer. It sounds strange, but I actually found that the adults would be impressed by me saying that, so I sort of stuck with it. And actually, my career has taken a very organic path, nothing to do with being a lawyer.
Okay, I want to hear all about your work, but first tell me your story. How did you become CEO?
Well, as I just mentioned, I've had a very organic career path. My parents always had their own businesses, small businesses. So I started in hospitality and I worked my way up to managing and owning my own restaurant by the time I was 22. So I got good customer experience and appreciation for customer service then. Then I realized I love data and software systems and improving and automating processes to help people. So that led me to being a business analyst. And that's when I started with Getz Clinical, was as a business analyst. And then from there, I started looking after not the software design, but then also the developers and the software testers. And then from there, I went into looking after operations. And then I looked after finance. And then within 4 years, I went from being a senior business analyst up to running the company.
Okay, so tell me about your company. What is your product and who are your customers?
So we make software for clinicians in the perioperative space. Perioperative means around the operation within a hospital. So we make software for anaesthetists, and it's actually an anaesthetic information management system. So we shorten it to AIMS to make it easy to say. We capture vitals, medications, and events relating to surgery, where there's a surgeon and an anaesthetist, and then also their post-operative recovery. So prior to an AIMS system, you know, anaesthetists and nurses would use paper, and it was a bit of a black box for information and data relating to surgery. So now that we can capture that in a system, we can use it for like researching and improving patient experience. So that's what I do, make software for anaesthetists.
What do you love most about your job?
I'd say there's probably two main elements that I love the most. I mean, I like being busy and lots of tasks and things like that, but what I really love is when the clinicians are using the system, the anaesthetists and the nursing team are using the systems, and I can see that it helps them spend more time with patients because they don't have to capture, the information is being captured electronically and automatically. So seeing patients get better care, that's what I love. And also about my team, I really love my team and just watching them learn and grow and guiding them and mentoring them and seeing, you know, sometimes people get promoted or they move on to other roles, and I just really love watching that.
What's the hardest thing about your job?
The hardest thing about my job is sometimes, because my day is quite busy, and when you're at the CEO level or, you know, general manager level, you have to shift your mind very quickly from one subject to another subject, and you have to give advice and guidance on that. So, you know, sometimes just taking a few minutes to just, okay, finish that meeting, okay, what's the next meeting, and shifting your mind quickly is sometimes can be challenging.
Okay, so what does success look like to you?
Success has many different forms, but for me, it's about seeing my customers happy. That's what makes me feel successful. We've done a good job, and that's what success is doing a good job. And I think also just seeing my team really just learning and growing and taking on responsibilities and being accountable and just imparting what knowledge I can. I think that's what makes either me or my company successful.
Okay, what's one piece of advice for me as I think about starting my own company?
Wow, starting your own company, that's pretty impressive at your age. But I would say my biggest piece of advice would be to listen to advice. In all honesty, think about having some common sense. Work-life balance is really important when you're starting your own company, setting your own goals, and when you're working, work hard, stay focused, and enjoy it. Really, just enjoy it.
Okay, so I'd like to know more about advice. Do you have like coaches and mentors for businesses?
Absolutely. I think that all people that grow and move forward in their roles generally have mentors and guides, and I definitely have 3 particular ones that I have gone on my journey with through my career. So I have, and they're all female. One was initially my mum, who taught me how to run business and also to run a home at the same time, and to be able to manage that, and gave me that that strong sense of work ethic, that you need to turn up every day, and you need to look after your team, and you need to look after your customers in order to have a successful business. So that was my first sort of step into it. And then I have someone that I met in London when I worked in London, and she was the one that actually identified my skill sets as a business analyst and really encouraged me that, you don't have to always work in hospitality and work nights and weekends, and you can actually turn the skills that you've learned in customer service into a different career path, which was business analysis. So she really gave me that that confidence to try something new. And I've always done that within my career, is I give myself 2-year life cycles of trying a new career path, and it generally will then grow into another part of my career path, which is exactly what's happened. So that was Karen, who we're still friends to this day, and it's been 20 years. And then I also have one other called Carol, who I closely work with now. And where Carol's guided me and mentored me, she's a single mum, like I'm a single mum, and that being able to, run a business and also keep grounded with looking after your children, being aware and present for your children while you're running a company, she's really given me a lot of guidance in doing that. She's never judged me and she's also been really really encouraging for me to achieve my goals, and she supports me through that. So yes, mentors and guides and coaches are extremely important when you're at all levels in life.
Tell me about work-life balance. How do you find it?
Oh, good question. So I have definitely gone through stages of work-life imbalance, and I think it's where I have been very, very focused on my work. When my children were younger, I think that it really started to resonate that I needed to create more of a work-life balance. So making sure that I structured my day with my work so that I had time off for important occasions, really recognizing what's important in life. We only have one life, we have one journey, and I always think that it's your children that are going to be growing through your life with you and to when you retire, and so making sure that you focus on that is important to understand early, I think, in your career, especially if you have an ambition to be a general manager or a CEO. So making sure that the children know that you are there with them, you're present with them, you're listening to them. But then when I'm in meetings or when I'm at work, I've also taught my children that is where I am for that part of the day, and being able to switch off from work is also really important. I've gone through working in an office to working from home, which is what I do now. So working in an area at home where I can actually just shut the door and switch off from work is really important. So in terms of work life, I've gone through the imbalance and now I've found the balance, and it's definitely more rewarding.
Before we finish this Meet the Boss, I have an off-script question.
Okay, then go ahead.
You know how you said you like classics? If you could have any classic car and drive it, but you have to drive it but you're driving it for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one, especially now that we're shifting to electric cars. If it was my son answering this question, he would definitely say a Tesla. But for myself, I think it would probably be like a 1965 Alfa Romeo Spider convertible. That's what I would love.
I'd love a Porsche.
Nice. Convertible?
Yep. Looks like that's all we have time for today. Thanks so much for coming on the show and sharing your story. Best of luck with your future.
Thank you, and best of luck to your future, Liam. Good luck with starting your own company.